So let's explain chess and some tactics. So in the beginning, you just want to control the center. That's always the most important thing because, for example, this knight has 2 squares, but after jumping it out, it has something like 2 or 3 squares, or 4 or 5 squares, should I say. Now we can begin to pin. So always look for tactics like that. And we're going to come here, develop our knight. Always bring your pieces to the center. That's the most important part. And you never want to trade early. I mean, I don't like to trade early. And a lot of chess professionals tend to advise against trading early because it can lead to a few things. But we have to be a little bit careful. I wanted to try to maybe Greek gift him, which is essentially where I check, and if he comes out, I take and I take. And the first step is he has to take here because after he takes, his knight has to move. It's also a great move too. Let's take here, and he can take, but I think I'm gonna check and bring his king out and win him. Wait, but then he just takes with the knight, and then we take there. Oh, yeah. Fine. So here's the idea. If he takes here, discover check him. If he takes with the knight, we have to take this first to put his queen under attack, and we win a free piece in the process. And he's going to have a damaged pawn structure, so he's going to take, obviously, depends on what he takes with. If he takes with the knight, we got to take here first. Otherwise, he's going to take my bishop at the end of the exchange, and now we take here. And now we are just completely winning. Because our knight is on an active square, we also have this, and we also have other moves as well. We can also just begin to brush his king, which is a very logical move. That's also pretty interesting too, because it blocks his ability for him to kick my knight out. Not only that, I can, once this pawn disappears, I can play like here, which should just win us the game. So if he takes, then I just have knight here, and if there's just no square for him to defend, so yeah, that's a very logical move. Let's play here. And there's just no square for him to defend this knight. Like, literally none. So yeah, that should just be the end of the game. Yeah, he would have to give up the knight, and that's an unavoidable checkmate. So let's move on to the next game. We also have like this checkmate, which is actually interesting too. We have pawn h2. We have pawn h2. We actually had knight here too, but this is an even cooler checkmate. So let's move on to another game and see if we can get some counter. So we're with white here. I don't know if I was white last game. We have a lot of interesting things to play with white. And white and black are supposed to be equal, I think, to create the most equal and fair game. That's also just a free pawn. Oh, sorry, I'm playing with the... Okay, let's play here. Attack here. Although it's technically not attacked. And now we can just, we can't pin anymore, which was the point of that move. Let's come here and try to trade just to get some development. But you never want to be the one really forcing the trades because otherwise it gets to an interesting position. And yeah, now I'm a little bit scared of here, so I'm going to trade because I do not want to get pinned early. And we can begin to go for some counterplay. And I think the first way is going to be here and here. I blundered a full piece, but he doesn't see it. I think I was just talking too much. So let's defend this pawn before we begin to move our knight. This is also not checkmate. I just saw that the piece can converge, so he's trying to kick my knight out, but we have it there. We also had knight there too. Let's play here, and this trade's going to happen. And after the trade happens, oh, it's not, what did he just move? He moved there. We can infiltrate on different areas, but I think here in winning a pawn is probably the best play, because if he doesn't take, then that's checkmate, or very close to checkmate. Can also probably have some brilliant ideas here, but I think the best idea is to just take. Okay, let's just rook lift and get more pressure on this piece. It's pretty easy to put pressure here because his king is on an open file and it's not castled. It's really the importance of castling, and I don't think he can defend this actually. There's actually no way to defend this knight because it takes 2 moves for a rook to get to here. I mean, he has there, right? He has there. Oh, but then I just have check, and his only move would be here, and then check, and his only move would be here, or maybe. I'm trying to calculate the possibilities. It's a little bit difficult to do so, but yeah. Oh wait, I just have check, and if he comes here, oh yeah, that's just game over. So yeah, he's gonna lose a piece. I don't know if he calculated out the precise details. Wait, but do I still win a queen? Oh wait, no, I don't, because it's not pinned anymore. So let's take, and let's take. So we're just completely winning, and I think that's just even worse, because check, if he comes here, then we win our queen, so he has to block with the queen, but then I have check here. So like, to explain what I'm talking about, I can bring my queen, oh wait, sorry, I think I just froze. I can bring my queen here, and if he doesn't block and he plays here, then I bring my rook here, which pins his queen to his king, and I win it. Actually, that's completely incorrect. Uh, because he can just take my queen back. So let's take here. And if he moves his queen back, I think that's actually checkmate. Well, let's win his queen first. And yeah, so it's all about piece activity, and after that, it's checkmate in one if he takes, so. Check, takes, and that's checkmate in one, so I think he's going to take here, in which case, where's the mate? Oh, wait, that's just mate in one as well. All right, let's move on to another game. So tactics are all about checks, captures, and interesting ideas that you can manipulate. Don't play useless moves because they'll never work. So like here, there's a variation. There's many variations you can go for, but I think we're just going to go for the classic, traditional variations. And let's also do like a game review after, so we can see what the mistakes were. I guess the one we lose. So again, I don't like to trade early, so I'm going to bring my queen out. Actually, that's a huge blunder. So let's take here. Or it's not huge, but they win a pawn and they infiltrate. Definitely not something I want to do. Let's come here, defend here. And we just have to develop. Wait, hold on. That's a very weak square. So I think we can manipulate it somehow. Though the issue is that I don't see how necessarily. If we take and he takes, yeah, we do not want his piece to get active. So maybe we could play here and manipulate it somehow in the future. The reason I didn't take that pawn there was because his knight would have taken and gotten more activity. Let's take with the knight here to get more activity with our pieces as well. The most important thing in chess. Let's bring our rook in and takes, and we'll have a great outpost square. Let's take, and takes. And we are winning. Now, I did not see that move, which essentially gets his knight active and wins him a tempo, but I think we can manipulate it somehow. This is also pinned, so we have to move out the way. And I think the way we move out the way is by attacking the queen back, and if he takes, then we take and we take. I think I just lost a piece, but I think it's fine. Because we want to play hanging. Also, this is kind of weak as well. If he moves it, then we have like rook here. But I think the way he's going to defend his knight is probably there's no way to defend his knight without dislodging a certain piece. Like if he plays here, then I can take this rook, and if he plays here, then I think we can infiltrate with our rook. We can also just take the free pawn, both of which are good. But I think I'm going to take the free pawn because now we could play rook to e2. So very, very logical and cool moves. That's something I was expecting, but I think I just have here. The only issue is you don't want to trade when you're losing. So I think I could play rook here, but if he takes and I take and he takes, so it's going to move. Let's just play here. Getting the queen out of danger and attacking this piece. Now I think we have rook to e7 or e2, but we have to be careful. So let's play here, threatening mate in one. Then how does he defend? I mean, rook here is pretty powerful. But I think I just take, and if he takes, then do I have like a check winning his piece? I don't. So he's gonna completely miss it, and okay, we lost that piece. Let's just take. I'm gonna resign here because I didn't forget about that. Which is stupid. Let's do one more, and let's see if we can win. Let's go Sicilian here, and essentially control the center. Let's take. Okay, I don't really know how to play Sicilian, but seems like it's pretty logical here. Let's get our pieces active. I think actually here was the best move, but it's developed like normal. And now we can control the center and maybe Greek gift somewhere in the future. So let's take and take and bring our knight to a very active outpost square. Yeah, I was expecting that, but we just bishop here. Oh wait, okay, I thought I blundered. So yeah, very, very strong move, but I think we just up here. The issue is that it was a discovered attack and a regular attack. So we've got to be very careful. This bishop is also weak, so I'm thinking of playing bishop c7, and then going d7 as well, which is a very, very nice idea. Let's cancel. And he does have Greek gift ideas. Okay, so it's a very good move. Let's play here. No, because he just has it. No, he doesn't have it, but check. Check there. Check takes there. Check. I don't think the Greek gift is there, so I'm gonna play it here. Greek gift is when they take the h7 or a7 pawns, or h7, or any of these pawns right here. And now he just lost his piece because we have a discovered attack, winning either his bishop or his queen. So that should be pretty easy. Easy win here. Additionally, if he moves his queen, I think I can also play an in-between move where I come to h4, threatening checkmate. Just take. No need to rush. We can also play like queen here, but I think this is slightly better. Pawn here. Pawn here takes, doesn't work. I think we're gonna hit him with the image. Okay. And now this is very deadly. First, this pawn is not necessarily pinned yet, but it's a very weak pawn. This is hanging, which I didn't realize actually. And now we're gonna come here, threatening checkmate in one. He's gonna defend that way. Do I have any brilliant ideas? Probably not. If I come here and he takes with the pawn, then I win his queen, so it's pinned both ways. Actually, I could take with the bishop, in which case I take with the bishop and I just win his free bishop. So yeah, very, very bad for him. So now he's gonna have to move his piece. Okay, so I'm thinking about strategies. First, I'm thinking I can just take this pawn, because his bishop can't move out the way in time. Otherwise, I check, and I checkmate him on the next move. So maybe we could just take here. I'm just trying to play brilliant moves. And if he takes here, then I take here, and his bishop is still hanging. And essentially, yeah, that was his best move. But first of all, that's not a because he sacks the queen. Actually, I didn't see that while I was talking. How do we win quickly? I mean, we could take, and we could take, and we would just be completely winning. And he's going to resign. Let's actually do one more because that guy was not playing very great. So yeah. I think the scariest thing about beginners is closed positions. So let's attack here. And closed positions are essentially when you get this grid pawn structure, and it's really hard to break through without sacrificing material. But in the case of, let's play here, threatening Greek gifts, castles, queenside. And yeah, we just have to get our pieces active. Let's converge on this square. And also, yeah, geometry really matters. It's a free pawn, is it? Okay, yeah, he has no bishop g4 ideas, so just take, and if he takes with his queen, then we dislodge pawn structure. And yeah, we're just completely winning. And I'm thinking pushing here and takes, and then that should be the end of the game. Okay, that's a very strong move. He's attacking here, but I think this stops it. If he takes, and I take. Let's play here, defending, but then what about... Yeah, I think this works. We're going to defend this pawn. If he pushes, we get into a little bit of a dilemma. No, because I just take the pawn. Okay, and now we're going to have checkmate threats of our own with pawn takes pawn. That's also a pretty bad move because I think we can just push this pawn first. No, that would actually be a horrible move. So we can just take, but then he takes. Does he have a mate? He takes. No, I just run my king out. So it's just, oh wait, it's also not good. Oh, it's also not good either. Takes, check. Yeah, we're just gonna put a king, queen here. And he's gonna trade. Trade? Yeah. Not very good for him. Here, I'm just up a full piece, I think. Oh wait, no, that's also hanging. Oh, it's not hanging, actually. And we have bishop here, and I think it's in his best interest to trade. If not, then I think... How do we get counterplay? I think it's here and here. We can also put our queen on the white square. That's also a pretty interesting castle. He cannot move his knight to anywhere good, or he loses a pawn in the process. Now, we do have to get our knight active, and it's probably going to be a little bit hard to do so. First, I think we're going to restrict the squares with the pawn push there. And I think we're going to have to reroute this way. Okay, takes, doesn't work. Let's come here and try to put our knight there. Of course, his knight can't jump anywhere meaningful. So we should be fine. We also have bishop here now, which is going to pin his bishop to his king, and he's going to take, and now that's going to be under threat within the third exchange, because he has no other square. But he does have knight here, but it doesn't work because we get a tempo off the rook, so it's going to be a free piece. Let's take. And now we're going to win. We can also possibly win more than a pawn here, because once he moves his rook, like if he moves it here, we just fork him, winning his piece back. If he comes here, that's a pretty good move. Wait, checks there, checks there. Wait, checks there. Okay, I didn't really see anything, so let's just take the pawn with check. And yeah, it's really hard for me to visualize within my head sometimes. So let's come back here and trade. And if takes, it's actually not checkmate. I thought it was checkmate. Okay, let's just play here. Of course, this pawn is... Oh wait, it's guarded both ways. And now I think we can play here and takes with the knight. Very logical move. But he's going to take here with the knight. Okay, takes with the knight. Yeah, not very good. I think I could just play here now that he's moved out the way. So let's take and takes. And I think we're winning because we're up 3 pawns. And once you're up 1 or 2 pawns, it's essentially game over. So what about checks? And his only move would be there. I mean, he can also go there too, but it's a little bit complicated. Let's play here defending this pawn, and it's essentially over because he would have to come to this rank. And then I think we can... There's some sequence where... That's also a very bad move because he pings his rook to his knight to his rook, and oh, actually, yeah, it's there, and he has no in between check. I know the geometry, so it's fine. So now both are hanging, and now I think like a move like here just wins the game. Just simply no way for him to defend both. Yeah, he's gonna resign here. Let's do one more just to lock in the theory, because I feel like I'm visualizing things quite well here. Or maybe my opponents are playing pretty bad, but it's just a win. So, oh wait, hold on. It was never pinned. Wait, checks there. Yeah, there's no fork either, so let's just take. Okay, let's see if the geometry works out. He has there. He has there's a jump to. Let's just push. There's just no need to be weird about it. Oh wait, I'm actually running out of time. If he pushes and he takes, then I make a queen. So let's play there. Should be the end of the game, promptly. Check. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why did I do that? Let's play here. Let's just promote this. I mean, that's also mate too, if he moves his knight. Actually, it's not, because once he moves his knight, there's no open square for him. So we're on 2. That's mate, right? Yeah, I think that was mate, actually, but we just promote. Okay, it's really blue. We'll just pick the 9. I think it should be game. Okay, I don't see the mate yet, so I think it's here, here, here. Checks, checks. Checks, and that should be a... There's still mate, because he has pawns. So let's do like a one more game to lock in theory, and... Okay, so let's go pawn e4. Traditional opening, he's going to go for the own defense, and now you have to understand like what his next move is, and obviously he pushes pawns if he can catch his bishop or bring his bishop to this square. And I think I'm going to counter with here. I only choose pawn there, but then I just bring my knight to f or c3, and that should cover all the advances. So takes, and now his bishop is stuck staring into nothing. There's also multiple ways to counter this too. I think like knight there and maybe knight there is also quite strong, but let's just develop our second piece. And now, if he takes, and I take, no, because I still have my queen defending. Yeah, what am I talking about? I can play bishop here. Pretty strong move as well. Cancel, really. So now all our pieces are pretty much developed. We finished our development, and this should be pretty easy to win. Let's just do a waiting move. We can play like, oh, it doesn't work anymore. You know, it's fine if we double up pawns here. I think we can still beat this guy pretty easily. Let's come here, getting an open file. And after it takes, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's fine. So you usually never want to double up pawns. Tripling is even worse. But in this case, I think I'm fine. And I think bishop here just wins the game. Bishop there. Okay, so here's how we're gonna win. Bishop there, and then queen d4 should just win the game. I don't think there's any sort of counterplay. Wait, it's actually quite good. But I think we just have here and if pawn pushes, then it's a little bit difficult. That was actually great, but I think we just have here too. Let's take with check first. I think we have here. Oh wait, here knight jumps here. Yeah, very deadly. And let's just bring our bishop all the way back. Here attacking here. Oh, we're gonna lose a pawn, actually. That I did not see, and also gonna lose another pawn, I'm pretty sure. This pawn right here, which is a pretty powerful. Now, here is the question, but here runs into another. Actually, no, it doesn't. So let's just take here. And now we're losing. I think we're losing. There. And now his brook can't go the other file. Maybe we could play here too. Oh gosh. Yeah. See that? Just getting tunnel vision. I think that should be. Yeah, can't trade. So let's see. Let's make an escape square for our queen. He's gonna take. Alright, so now we can begin to get some development. But I think it's over already. But I think maybe there is some chance we win just because I think I have brain do some. Okay, so that really does nothing. Let's come here, threatening here and here. Yeah, that's just deadly, I think. So let's play here, there. If you push it, we take. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm just gonna resign this game. So that's it, I guess. It's just until I lose. So.